Hey, I'm RejectedShotgun. So a bunch of really cool stuff has just been added to the Overwatch testing servers. You can see it live on the PTR right now. There is 2 brand new game modes that are incredibly addicting. One of them comes with a fully featured new map. The other one comes with some reused maps that have been changed around in some interesting ways. And there are a ton of changes to characters on the PTR right now. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So this is a really big update, and Blizzard has added a lot of stuff right in the middle of the summer games, which is crazy, but it just goes to show that there are no breaks on Blizzard's update schedule for this game. So biggest things first, I think the most important thing in this new update is the new game mode and the new map for it. This is Deathmatch with the map for it called Chateau Guillard. Now, this map and this game mode are made for each other. It is absolutely beautiful. The goal of Deathmatch is to get 20 eliminations before anybody else does. It is worth noting that you can't get eliminations in normal Overwatch 6v6 style. In order to get an elimination that counts, you have to be the person to kill the enemy. In 6v6, if you do any kind of damage, the elimination will be counted towards you. But in this game mode, you have to be the one to completely finish off the enemy to get any credit for the kill. This makes it a lot more hardcore and a lot more addicting for someone who wants to just jump into one of these matches and jump out. If I had to compare this gameplay to something, I would say maybe Quake or Call of Duty, maybe even Halo. It's an arena style match and it's incredibly addicting. This kind of gameplay was desperately needed in Overwatch. Deathmatch is not the only mode, however. There is an entirely new Team Deathmatch mode, which takes the fun parts of the free-for-all deathmatch mode and it turns it into a full-on team game. A lot of the maps that are made for 6v6 have been repurposed and they've been made really good for the team deathmatch mode. Now, both deathmatch and team deathmatch have a completely new style of scoreboard. This scoreboard actually tracks your eliminations or killing blow eliminations technically, and it will completely track your deaths and assists on top of that. Now, what's really interesting, and this was noted in the developer update by Jeff Kaplan, is that if you're playing Team Deathmatch and you pick Mercy, you'll be able to still resurrect your teammates as normal, and actually this will count as negative points for the enemy team. So if they are to kill 2 of your teammates and you resurrect them, those 2 points will be pulled away from the enemies. So Mercy's ultimate in this case will be very, very strong, and it's a very interesting note of how different ultimates will play differently in these game modes. Now, not only have we gotten a giant content drop with this, but we've also got a lot of tweaks and even a little bit of a rework for some of the characters' kits and abilities in the game. Most notably in this update is Junkrat. He has gotten a crazy buff in my opinion. This is really fun, and I think this is going to be good for Junkrat's character. He's got his concussion mine, which used to just be a single concussion mine. Now you can hold up to 2 of them at any given time. However, now you have to wait on a different style cooldown for the mines to come up, and you can pretty much save up both mines and do a double jump if you really wanted to. In certain situations, this will make Junkrat a lot more powerful, and I'm really excited to see how this plays out in-game. I know a lot of people were talking about Roadhog and they wanted a buff for him, so it looks like Blizzard has found a way to maybe balance the scales a little bit and make him a stronger character. His Take a Breather, which is his healing ability that does 300 health, it now can be used while Roadhog is moving. And while you're moving around and healing now, all damage you take will be cut in half, completely reduced by 50%. This sounds like it's very powerful. This means that Roadhog is still going to have his ever powerful hook and his fairly good scrap gun, even though it has been nerfed, but now his healing will make him a much easier target to last out in long team fights. And now it seems like if you're using your healing, you won't be a huge target that can just be farming ult charge, as half of all damage will be negated. Now, interestingly, Widowmaker has actually gotten some changes here. Her grappling hook, which used to have a cooldown of 12 seconds, has been reduced to 8. Presumably, this will give Widowmaker a lot more ability to fly around the battlefield and get to easier spots. Escaping should be a little bit easier as there's less of 4 seconds on that cooldown. So very nice there. Her Venom Mine also got a very fascinating buff, and I'm interested to see how this one will play out in game. Her Venom Mine, which when it triggers somebody, will make that target visible through walls. So temporarily, somebody who gets hit by that Widow Mine will get a essential ultimate on that Widow placed on them. However, it does not give it to the whole team, only that Widowmaker will be able to see whoever triggers the mine. That part is very fascinating, making Widowmaker feel a little bit more like Sombra, which is a little interesting, and I'm sure that you guys are interested to see how this plays out in game as well. Now, last but definitely not least, we have Orisa, and I was really interested to see how Orisa got changed up in game. So her barrier, first of all, got increased in size by 20%, and you can definitely feel it in game. Her barrier is very large now, and not only has the size been changed, but the shape of it as well. Around the bottom part, it curves a little bit more, making Orisa's barrier even more effective than it used to be. Now you can place her barrier on slanted surfaces and you'll still be able to cover the little corners that stick out. This is really nice for a quality of life change for Orisa players. On top of this also, we've got an Orisa projectile speed increase. So her gun, the bullets on it, the projectiles are actually 20% faster now. This is awesome. I used to enjoy tracing targets with Orisa and treating it kind of like a Mei icicle, but now you have to try even a little bit less, which is nice. I didn't really think this was necessary for a change, but it will make Orisa players having a little bit less of a hassle trying to aim at those faraway targets. There are a whole bunch of bug fixes and little UI interface changes everywhere, but they're not really worth mentioning. I'm sure you'll see them when this update hits live, or if you're one of the lucky few on PC who is able to get on PTR right now. That is all for today's video though. I hope you guys are as hyped for these changes as I am. Make sure if you haven't checked out some of my other videos to take a look. I post Overwatch news all the time, so make sure to subscribe and stay up to date with all the newest Overwatch news. That's all for today though. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.
Like, follow, subscribe.